understand where price can really go. And then when you start to integrate your EMAs, which is your exponential moving averages, support, resistance, and that's just the bar minimum. You start getting levels where price will probably go based upon where it tanked last, where it broke a certain level last. Price action is key because you'll know if you're getting in a stock that's either a good deal or it's overpriced or it's too expensive. And when you use price action, you can look at a stock and say, that's a little too expensive right now. I'll wait a couple days or weeks to get to this because 5 months ago when price was here, a lot of people bought because that was a level where a lot of people, a lot of volume came in at this point of price action. If you don't even know what price action is, you won't even know to look at a chart to understand where certain prices were of a stock that had the most popularity. That's all price action is. It's trying to figure out what price is most popular. And obviously, you want to buy at where the popular prices are, right? And catch the run-up. And you don't want to, because if you don't know price action, you'll end up selling where price is popular for the majority, and you'll end up buying where price is popular for the majority to sell. That's when you're never profitable.
I hope y'all took notes on that. I really hope, listen, new investors, and also, investors, that's super duper important right there. My fault.
Yeah, but that's it in a nutshell. I mean, that's the importance of price action. It gives you what you need in order to trade effectively, and you understand where prices are on the chart that can save you more money.
Big facts right there. That's I don't know what else to tell you. That right there is definitely was spot on. Now, what would be? I think also too sometimes there are people sometimes to where I would say I want to make sure I word it correctly. Okay, would you say that there is, again, this is sometimes when you first learn about price action, most go to YouTube or they read something, right? And sometimes people utilize price actions not the best correct way, just anyway, avoid the wrong way. I want to make sure I'm making sense with that question because I've kind of you understand me on that, Dr. Ross? Explain it.
I think I do. I guess when it comes to price action, don't get stuck on using price action with one tool. Like I know some people, I only trade with the RSI. Possible. You can't just trade the RSI. So price action teaches you to have 4 or 5 or 6 green lights before you enter a trade. So averages that look good, you got your level, work and resistance that look good. Have your candlesticks. You have certain formations of those candlesticks. You have inverted head and shoulders, cup and handles, pennants, bullish pennants. You have all these things that come into play. And if you understand price action, start to use those effectively. That's when price action is. Don't dump price action on indicator because you'll always be off. Because price could be overbought, and you think it's overbought, and also, I'm sorry, time frames. You got to historically look at time frames what price is done on a larger time frame, dumb it down, kind of like from the macro to the micro. From the 1 week chart chart to the 1-day chart to the 4-hour chart to the 1-hour chart. And when you're in the trade, you can maybe not on the 15-minute chart. If you are a bandit, you know, maybe it's like the 5-minute chart. But taking the research and looking at price action as a whole over that period of time and using all of those key things to help you make trades.
Well said. Jay, you had another question before we open up the rooms? Shoot, you had any questions before we open up people to us to have ask questions?
Yeah, real quick question. In regards to price action and the oscillators, which would you say is better, a better identifier of moving stock? Would it be the price analysis or the oscillators or indicators? Or do you just use them all together?
I use a combination of the MACD, the RSI, volume, of course, and within those oscillators, candlesticks. And if I know price action, I know if price is up where it's bouncing around between $50 and $60. It's bouncing around up and down. I'm not going to chase that because let's say in month 3, 4, 5, and 6, price is bouncing around between $50 and $65. You know, I can get a good trade, right? I mean, it's bouncing up and down. But if I really want to hold that thing for like the long run and not trade it, I saw in month 1 and month 2, price was at $30. And when it touched $30, it ain't been back since in 6 months. So now price action is saying to me, that's a demand zone. Like that's where people want to buy at. So I'm patient now because price action also gives you patience because you know what price you're waiting on. And then when price gets down to 40 and 5, 40, 39, 38, and when my alert goes off at 35, I'm in. Because I know the last time it was here, a lot of people bought, and that's when. And then I'm paying attention to the oscillators as well and those candles.
10-4. That was well said. That was a good question too, Jay. Also, checking my PTR. Y'all see it?
Yeah, Sonya's dog.
Shout out to Sonya with the Taco Tuesday, dog. We appreciate that. All right. At this time, you know, I think that's the questions from us. If you guys have any questions for Dr. Ross, feel free to raise your hand. Again, you know, we just went over penny stocks earlier, and now he's just talking about as far as price action. Again, if you guys had any questions, feel free to go ahead and raise your hand. The time will be as far as now, because we'll be starting as the games for shortly. All right. And again, today's winner of the Taco Tuesday, as far as a game, actually will gain access to being a part of Dr. Ross's games community for 30 days, sponsored by Stock Street. Okay, so again, that's definitely as a dope as far as win. He also did let you guys know, you know, about his community as well too. So again, make sure you guys have 2 tablets, but not 2 tablets, but 2 devices, so that you guys can be a part of the game. Whether that's a cell phone and a computer, cell phone and a laptop.
Smart TV.
Make sure you have access to YouTube, and Kahoot can make things easier. But I don't think you need to have the Kahoot app. But again, if anyone has any questions, I don't know if the hands are on, feel free to raise your hands. If you have any questions for Dr. Ross.
Yeah, the hands are on right now. We good.
All right, cool. Oh, look who it is.
Yeah. What up, Elena? You sound mad muffled and far away.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Elena. You sound like really, really low.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Hear you. Like really low, really.
She sound like Doc Ross was bullying her. What's
Y'all
up?
still can't hear me?
Oh, now we hear you. Yeah, now, yeah.
I was just gonna ask Doc what his favorite indicator is and why.
Oh, good question.
Nice. Let's see, my favorite indicator. I like the MACD. I like the MACD. And the why?
Yeah, and you also sound muffled too, Dr. Ross.
Uh-oh. Okay. What about now?
I can hear you, but you don't sound like clear like how you was earlier.
All right. What about now?
Yeah, sound good.
All right. I would say my favorite is the MACD in conjunction with the moving averages, because you can really see price shift, during certain time frames when those EMAs cross. You can see where price is getting ready to pick up, where price is probably getting ready to go down. So I would say the MACD is my favorite, and that's why.
Let me also ask you a question as well, too, since you spoke about the MACD, and I was telling Elena about a play I had. I was doing really good with SPY last week, and then this week, was it I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I don't know. It was like the SPY just, when I mean everything was in my favor, everything, and I was in profits. I was, but not profits to my liking. Let's just say that. So, one thing that did happen, since I know you play the SPY a lot, right, Dr. Ross? Or right? Okay. So in this case, I would just tell you that when this play happened, I probably got into this play somewhere between 9:45 and 10:30, somewhere in that time frame. Again, this was either 2 days ago or yesterday. I can't really remember. But anyways, the SPY went from being above the VWAP, right? From pre-market. So I watched for as it. No. My fact, it was doing pretty. It was actually up in pre-market. This is correct. It was up in pre-market. It had just broke, being above the VWAP, had did a new resistance in pre-market. Then when the market opened, the market was down. At this time, the market was down. I want to say about, if we're looking at Dow, probably about 120 points. So it started doing, the first candle was a bearish candle underneath the EMA 20, underneath the EMA 450. And I said, let me wait for it to break down. Let me wait for it to do a pullback and then touch back and see if it could break support. And it broke support. The MACD crossed, but you know how sometimes the MACD, like, it shows that it's like drops. There's certain times when you see the MACD, it look like it's gonna just like someone just threw like a fishing rod out and stuff like that. But this is the one when the MACD kind of crosses down, like to where people are taking profits, and then the arches kind of like right back up. So with the SPY, when you're using the MACD, when you're trading a SPY, can the MACD, I would say, angle off of people taking profits? It's kind of hard to describe because I have to show it to you. Yeah, I'll probably ask you off because I want to. I gotta show you the picture of it though.
Yeah, we can get together one-on-one. You show me, because that kind of makes sense, But I know if you show me, I probably.
Yeah. Okay, cool. AZ, you got a question for Dr. Ross?
Good evening, everybody. This is probably my first time talking to Dr. Ross. As many times I've seen him.
What's up, man?
What's going on? When I first started, trading stocks, it was dealing with penny stocks. So, I did kind of well not knowing what I was doing, but I went to like pennystock.com getting research. Have you ever used pennystock.com or any type of research dealing with penny stocks? That's my first question. Second question is, I noticed that there's a lot of biomedical companies that's coming out in penny stocks, and they have a lot of gains. But if you do your research, a lot of them are in debt. How would you tell somebody that's brand new how to look at these stocks to say they're not worth it versus worth it?
To answer your first question, no, I've never used that website, but I just wrote that down, so I guess I'm gonna start now. Always a learner, so I just take.
Hey, Doc, we can't hear you. Doc, we lost it.
Oh man, it's crazy. Hold on a second, y'all.
Mm-hmm. That was a good question, AZ. Go ahead, Doc.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you clear.
Yeah, great. All right, so
Fade it up.
are coming off of what's called an FDA approval process. And one thing that our crew has found, man, is they are doing bad financially, but these buyers and sellers don't care. They buy ideas, they buy FDA approvals, and that's when it all comes back to the concept of, you don't have to marry the stock to profit from it. And during the pre-market time, we've seen news of FDA approvals come through, and you see volume spike shoot through the roof. And you can profit off of that volume because that whole buy the rumor, sell the news is real. Because these buyers, they don't company long term, and they don't even care about like how whatever was a patent or anything is done. They don't care about seeing what it did next to it. They're all for being part early to the party with a bunch of other people. Early to the party, walking in with the first crowd, then profit because walking in the party with the first crowd and people coming in after you first. That's how I would talk to a beginner when it comes to those type of companies. And for one, I wouldn't even give those type of companies to a beginner. For the main reason is that they would have to learn how to research first. And then they would have to learn those technicals first. And it's very risky, hopping into those trades because you have to understand once the news comes out, where the volume is, where it was the past day, past week, past month. You have to do that stuff before you hop in. But if the news is significant enough, and you hop in, a seasoned trader will know what to do with that volume. So it's not really for a beginner, but that's what I would recommend for someone that understands that trading process, and that's how I would treat these bio companies that are penny stocks.
Appreciate that, Doc.
Very welcome.
All right, Kevin, you had a question?
Yeah, thanks again for bringing me back up. Dr. Ross, I know you price action strategies.
Good.
You mentioned using MACD and RSI as good indicators. And one thing, at least in my experience, I know when you use price action strategies, it's good for short-term, maybe mid-term strategies, but not necessarily effective in the long term. So my question to you is, what time horizons do you suggest are the best, macro indicators to use for that, for those strategies?
I know the Fibonacci retracement tool is good on a day chart to understand, or even a weekly chart to understand the longevity time frame, especially if you're looking at a stock to hold for the long run. You got to see where certain levels were over the past month, past year. You got to really scale out and get a wider sense of where that is. So good quality companies that have good financials, that have good products, that have hit a 52-week low, 8 times out of 10, They're probably oversold on that RSI on the weekly. They're probably oversold on the daily. You know, they're probably oversold on the year. So if that's a good profitable company, if that's a good quality company, if they got good things going on the, you know, their numbers look straight, you know, their earnings per share, all that good stuff looks great. You know, if they're held highly, one caveat is, are they institutionally owned? If they're really institutionally held and all those green lights are there, and you know, you can use those indicators to see where they are on a year standpoint, because that's not fast, that's not quick, that's pulling it all the way out and seeing what's been going on this stock over the past week, month, 12 months to make a decision if you're entering at the absolute best price compared to all other prices over that time frame. That's the best value for you. And if you're buying at a good floor that can show some volume coming up, because maybe the last time price was at that level, it hadn't seen it in a year. You see what I'm saying? So,
right. And if you don't mind, a little follow-up, and that's really great when you talk about companies that have strong fundamentals. You know, I guess penny stocks, and I'm just correlating the two. When it comes to penny stocks, they tend to be a little bit more volatile. So price action, the long term, which is really works with great companies like Pfizer. But
it's kind of hard to hear. I don't know if that's Doc Ross. It's kind of hard to hear. There you go. I'll say it again, Kevin, because it was kind of hard to hear.
No, it's okay. I was just saying that in regards to the price action to penny stocks, they're a little bit more volatile. I find them to not be as effective in that macro level because, you know, they could be, like you said, based off the hype, you know, of what the news may be or the rumor may be. They're up and down consistently. They're pump and dumps. There's so many different things that happen with them. So using price action in those moments, I found them to be very effective in the right then and there. And in agreement with you, using the Fibonacci retracement, you know, that gives you the natural support and resistance of that stock, which is a great tool to use, and I find as well. And I guess going back to just circling back to that question with what you mentioned, and even the answer that you had for the other gentleman, when doing research with penny stocks and using certain things that, you know, these biotech companies, for example, is a perfect example where they come out and you find out that they're making thyroid medication for rabbits, you know, and it's just like, is that really going to be something that's going to be popular, or is it just like a rumor and news, you know? So where we could use technical analysis and all these other things to see how we can find the best plot and the best route, it doesn't work in the long term. That's why I guess I wanted to find out more so, what do you think is like a good isolation of time in the short term and the midterm to kind of really use them and see the most potential out of it? I guess from just your opinion.
Well, to say it doesn't work in the long term, I gotta disagree, because it all depends again on what I said earlier on what it's tethered to. Whatever that penny stock is tethered to, because nobody was talking about Riot or Mara in June of 2020, you know, August of 2020. Nobody was talking about them until they became relevant from a crypto blockchain standpoint. Then that's when they got that volume. Now, if you are doing your that type of you know, research, and you're seeing what company, what they're planning to do, what industry, what sector they're tethered to, that can give you a hint or to make a good determination if this is something that you want to hold. And then you can look at price action to see, well, what's been going on? Is it even worth it? Sometimes, but you are right. I mean, some, you know, these, you know, a lot of people use penny stocks to just earn a living. And the only thing that pushes these penny stocks at the time is the news breaks and that volume spike. And when the volume comes, that's when price runs. But if you're going to look at stocks the whole over for the long term, it's important to look at what those penny stocks are tethered to.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Cool. Well said, and great questions, man, and definitely great for his dialogue, man. And again, I just want to just thank Dr. Ross for definitely taking time out of his busy schedule to come here and definitely for speak with the community. Again, make sure you guys are definitely showing love towards to Dr. Royce. Check him out in the games community. That's going to be towards his club. Also, Doctor, you can just tell them how to get in contact with you.
Sure. So my website is under some works right now, but if you go to just got to upgrade it a bit. If you go to my bio, you can go to my Instagram page, and in my Instagram bio, there's a link. If you're interested in joining us, the link is there. We have classes every Sunday night at 9 p.m. We do watch lists. We talk about the market. We go over training, tools, skills, technicals, charting. And we do random Wednesday night study sessions just to talk about what's going on during the week, what to look for that next day. So you're not out here trading by yourself. It's a small fee. It's $30. And we assure you in a month or two, you're going to start to earn that back. I swear I'm getting robbed. There's people in that community making money, and but I love it, man. That was the whole point, wanting to break the cycle. Like my motto is to be the Walmart of stock market education, where all walks of life, all economic backgrounds have an opportunity to learn how to trade and invest. So that link is in my Instagram bio, and we're 330 strong, and we love to have more to bring more.
Good. But you're gonna have one more. You're gonna have one more today. The winner for the day get 30-day access.
Oh, that's why you cash at me?
Yeah.
AJ Wise.
Yes, sir.
Here I am thinking this man sending me a love offering. This man getting a 1 month deal. We'll talk offline, man. Don't even play with music. I gotta go. Hey, any other questions for anybody?
I'll make sure. What you want me to do?
Yeah, you know what? Jay Wise, play it. Jay Wise. Marley, it's funny how you asked me to come on your show tonight, man. And it's also funny how you cash out me $30 today, and I got to find out it had nothing to do with love, man. You trying to come up? Oh, you ain't know it was a setup, bro? I ain't know it was a setup, Jay Wise.
Man, it was a setup, man.
I ain't know it was a setup. You got the money to do it like, oh yeah, I got some prophesy. Right. Nope.
This moment that you knew.
Why Dr. always messing with me?
Hey, I got a question for the people though.
But Doctor, because I know he said he got to go. I'll just have whoever the winner is just message you, and I guess y'all go exchange information at that time. Correct?
Yep. If y'all have any questions, man, y'all can hit me on Twitter, or you can find me on my Instagram. Ask me anything you need to ask me. I will send back a reply. Thanks for having me, guys.
I appreciate you, Dr. Roy.
Thanks for coming by.
All right.
All right, y'all. Time to get crazy. So again, Q, J, y'all know all the game rules.
Hey, so real quick before we get it started, I got a quick question. Who ready to win some prize? Let me see some hands if you ready to win.
What?
Yo, this dude was like slurring, bro. What's
Ras.
Yo, are you drinking?
He said ras. What?
Who ready to win a prize? All right, let me see some hands. I told you I ain't drinking, bro.
Oh, so you said you said.
Right now, bro.
I'm trying to bring up Doc Richardson. I'm trying to bring her up.
Prize.
Oh, there she go.
All right, we got that.
Oh, you said prize. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said a prize, sir, a prize.
He was rolling his R.
Roll the R, you know what I mean? Ain't you Panamanian, homie?
Yeah, my fault. I didn't understand what you were saying. I'm bringing people up. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, we're about to get the game started.
Good, Sonya was good. Jay, what up? All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're about to get this game going. Yeah, what's good?
Hey, y'all.
We got chicken nugget and honey mustard.
And honey mustard.
Yeah, we forgot about that too.
All right, so here's what's up. So, for those of you guys... Bye.